Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to give you an update on the Rosario Dawson situation. She's been cleared of any anti-trans discrimination and assault charges.
Yep. Remember, like 2019, this all started. Like their one friend accused them of, deliberately misgendering and discriminating against them for being trans and assaulting them for being trans and all this other stuff. So she had all the charges been dropped except for 2, and now those have been dropped as well.
Yeah, so Twitter came knocking for Rosario Dawson. We're going to talk about that, the Twitter outrage mob, and how sometimes they often, I'm going to be honest, often get it wrong. They were accusing her of doing these things without it even going to trial or anything. They were just like, well, because somebody said she did this.
It happens to us all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Clownfish TV are bad and said this, this, and this because someone said they did. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean we did say that, they don't even listen or look.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the situation with Rosario Dawson compared to the situation with Gina Carano and Zoe Saldana and, everybody else that's getting canceled on Twitter. And it's interesting because actually more people supported Rosario Dawson.
It seemed that way, yes.
For sure. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're over 191,000 subs.
Woo-hoo! Almost
192. Almost 200.
Yeah, we're heading there.
We're getting there.
We're chugging along very slowly. Like the little, I think I can.
Well, we're doing it with our audience and ourselves. We don't hang out in a lot of other groups. So, it's awesome that you guys have found us and you're supporting us. We appreciate it greatly.
So anyway, what's going on was, it was actually Vanity Fair that was reporting it. And if you look, Vanity Fair has actually been reporting this thing the whole way through. And they even mentioned that, it's interesting that these were dropped, but there was very little media coverage about it. They were all the hell over it when they thought it was like, ooh, blood in the water, transphobe. And as soon as the charges have been dropped, like crickets.
Yeah, this is what happens a lot of times. Twitter will be proven wrong, and instead of recanting, they just sort of sweep it under the rug and move on to the next victim. That's how this seems to work. So she put a statement out. My family is pleased that this baseless suit is over. While the vast majority of the false claims had been voluntarily withdrawn, which we talked about before, last year, including every single false claim of discrimination, the court has now terminated the remainder of the case, allowing us all to move forward. That these false claims came from someone we've known as chosen family for decades and who we were trying so hard to help out, as we have many times in the past, was very heartbreaking. Nevertheless, we have great empathy for him and have only ever wished him well.
Yeah, so here's what happened. I'm going back to the article I did on Pirates and Princesses earlier today. So this all started about 2019, and all these charges were leveled against her and her family by Dedrick Finley. So, as soon as, of course, this was out there, automatically she was guilty because one person said so. And they were like yelling about her being canceled all the time. And then last year, I believe it was, that charges were dropped voluntarily by Finley, except for 2. And his lawyer left too.
Yeah, that's never a good sign. When your lawyer quits, that's never a good sign.
Usually they quit because, there's reasons that they need to remove themselves.
Yeah.
Apparently, that the Finley person was asked repeatedly to provide proof of certain things, didn't do it. And when the lawyer withdrew, they said that Finley did not respond to repeated court requests for documentation, answers to questions, and independent medical examination aimed at reinforcing the claims of mental and physical harm.
Receipts.
That was after the judge threw those out.
Yeah,
because he wouldn't provide stuff. And the counsel said, I can't provide effective representation to the client because the client's actions and inactions during the case, I can't do anything because they're not going and getting what they need.
So that's, look, it's basically like, you did this to me, you said this to me, you hit me, you did this, you did that, but there's zero evidence.
You have to provide proof. You can't just say it. It doesn't work. The court of Twitter might work that way.
Yeah.
But the court of law does not. So now Dawson and her family, the charges have been dismissed. So, and I guess that the Finley person hasn't been reached for comment, is not, going after an appeal.
Yeah.
Anything like that. Now, here's what's going on here. Twitter, of course, because, if they think that somebody did something wrong, whether you did or didn't, doesn't matter. They were after Dawson to get her canceled. Mm-hmm. They were after Gina Carano to get her canceled, too. We're going to talk about that in a second. Now, I personally had issues with people because on some unrelated Disney threads, people were on there like, maybe about Marvel or something else, and here they come. Cancel Carano, cancel Dawson.
Yeah.
And I know this one person in particular was going on about, well, Dawson too, because about being the trans comments she made or something like that. And I said, but that's not true. They dropped all the charges but 2. And the lawyer quit. Lawyers don't usually quit if they think that it's legitimate and then there's something. And I said, that isn't completely true. And then to which this person, well, you remember this person, decided to have a meltdown, called me names, said I was after male attention. And I'm like, yes, my husband will be happy to know that I'm after male attention. Tried to gaslight me and belittle me and everything else. Then blocked me, kept talking about me, and then saying that I was doing things to them.
Yeah, typical Twitter.
Yeah, typical.
It was,
And all I did was point out that that's not necessarily the case with Dawson, that because she's like, oh, all these charges were against her. And I'm like, actually, most of them and this person also was like, I'm autistic, so you can't say anything to me.
I love that. They're always autistic and they're always underage. And you probably, if you looked into it, you'd probably find out it's like some 45-year-old dude.
Who knows?
But
that was, I saw this, and they were going after, it didn't even have to be related to Star Wars, and they were trying to cancel Rosario Dawson and Gina Carano.
Yeah.
And now, if you go to the Vanity Fair article, which I have linked into my article, let me find it here real quick. If you go to that article, it was interesting to me that they do bring up about Gina Carano later on in the article. The examples they give, though, and they do give the example. He said, this happened to coincide with her fellow Mandalorian star Gina Carano's escalating fight with fans over her conservative views, election and mask mandate doubts, and conspiracies, as well as a joke she posted, which I'm assuming is the beep bop boop or whatever it is. Yeah. That was widely seen as mocking the pronoun choices. Widely seen. That doesn't make it true. No. But I'm going to talk about this for a minute. This is what happened with Carano, too. Because Twitter demanded she put pronouns in her bio. She said no. And she said that Pedro Pascal explained to her why. And her comments were, yes, Pedro and I spoke, and he helped me understand why people were putting them in their bios. I didn't know before, but I do now. I won't be putting them in my bio, but good for all of you who choose to. I stand against bullying, especially the most vulnerable, and freedom to choose, 100%. Nothing she said there was bad. But because she wouldn't put pronouns in her bio, they all went after her, block me before I stamp on your self-entitled transphobic, blah, blah, blah. You're not the victim here, you're transphobic hag. Because she wouldn't put her fucking pronouns in her bio. Sorry, Mom. Meanwhile, I'm going to point out again, a bunch of people at Disney and Lucasfilm that work there do not have pronouns in their bio either.
That is true.
So she took all this shit until she finally got sick of it and then put the beep bop boop or whatever she put in her. Yeah. And then that was what the variety is calling her, what some people widely thought was mocking trans people. No, it was mocking these pieces of shit that make comments like, they're calling her transphobic because she refused to put pronouns in her bio, but yet openly supported them for being trans.
Yeah, now, and they're all, look at these avatars, look at these usernames. Mm-hmm. Are they all autistic, underage people?
Who knows? So, okay, you think this is an isolated incident, but this is the same kind of people that went after Rosario Dawson. And then Zoe Saldana. She stood up for Chris Pratt when they were trying to cancel him for something because Elliot and Ellen Page made comments. And, of course, this is what gets me. As soon as somebody, these so super far liberal, far left, progressive, all for rights people, against isms and phobes, people stand up to defend this. They always turn into trash bags.
Yeah.
Because they immediately will then they become the ism and the istophobe. But here's the thing. It's okay when they do it because they're doing it for the right reasons. So here you can see the stuff that's being said. I'm not even going to read some of these because it's absolutely horrible. The people that are making these comments are the ones, how dare you stand up for him because he's a terrible person. He's a racist, whatever. And then they use racist terms against her. That's what pisses me off. It's like, I'm tired of these Twitter, morons going around and telling everybody else how you have to do what's right. They're demanding you put pronouns in their bio. They're demanding this and demanding that because it's just the right thing to do. We're standing up for the minorities. And then they turn around when a minority doesn't do what they want and then insult them and call them all kinds of foul names.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's interesting. This is actually coming from Data Racer.
Yes.
117 and Newsweek. Freaking Newsweek picked up on this because I think what's kind of going on here is that the mainstream media was basically believing whatever line of shit Twitter fed them for the longest time. And I think now they're starting to see like, oh, okay, wait a second. It's actually Twitter that is the problem.
And then, so Newsweek picked up and even brought up about how she was attacked with racist terms by these people supposedly standing up against Chris Pratt for whatever damn reason because Elliot Page was pissed about something. My point is, as we see with the stuff against Zoe Saldana and we see about the stuff that, we had against, Gina Carano, with the comments that people were saying, it's these same people. They want all these things from you. You don't give them what they want. And then they turn into racist, misogynist, toxic pigs. And that's okay. But it's okay when they do it, and that's what a problem with. Well, Rosario Dawson faced similar behavior over this stuff. And it turned out it wasn't even true. And the courts dismissed it.
So are they going to call her an alt-right Yahtzee when she's dating Cory Booker?
Probably.
I mean,
there you have.
Yeah, I mean, this is how insane this is. Like, if you just step out of line, and basically it's people trying to cancel other people so they don't get canceled next.
Well, I think the celebrities, but a lot of these people I think are just like, because I was on a message board or Reddit and they said that this was the truth. It's the truth because they said so. And and you know what? They're gonna keep trying to cancel her. With Dawson. They're going to keep trying.
Well, people brought that up in the comments to her. Said, hey, be careful. The mob is still targeting you for the next cancellation. Star Wars, all the best. Congratulations. They're still going to come after you. Facts do not matter. No, they decided that she did it. Whether even if the court said she didn't, even if the person dropped the charges, it's going to be that she's guilty according to the kangaroo court of Twitter. Well, here we go. Yeah, Sidra just goes to show you if you have enough money, you can get away with.
Or maybe they didn't do anything to begin with.
Yeah, it shows you if you have half a brain, you can say something stupid and think you're the smartest person in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, the judge dropped it. And in this day and age, if this was legitimately going on, you better believe that there would have been a feeding frenzy.
There would have been an example made of her or whatever. Yeah. And I guess they gave the person plenty of opportunity to bring proof. They didn't even do it because they didn't have any.
Well, that's what goes on. I mean, it's the same with not to bring up other court cases or whatever, but like with Vic Mignogna, there were a lot of allegations, but I have yet to see a smoking gun.
Right.
I want to see somebody come forward with like, here's a video of Vic doing something really inappropriate.
That they're saying that wasn't like the rest of the VAs joining in as a joke on a panel.
Not a jelly bean joke.
You jumped on my back because I told you to. Haha. Your balls.
I'm laughing.
Your balls are on my back, so you were assaulting me, even though I told you to get on my back. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Stupid shit. So. But that's the court of Twitter, and this needs to end because what's going to happen one of these days? They're going to lynch the wrong person. It's going to come out that they were the wrong person, and then it's going to be like, whoa, maybe we've gone.
But they're going to double down. You watch. Start looking at the Disney Twitter threads about Marvel, about Star Wars, about Disney Plus. It doesn't even have to be related to Star Wars, and you're going to see all these people pop up. Cancel her. Cancel her. They did the same thing with Gina Carano. Mm-hmm. And I love how they're because widely accepted as this. No, it wasn't widely accepted as her being a phobic because she was nice and said, "I understand why people put pronouns in their bio. I just don't feel comfortable doing it, but I really respect and support all of you that do." Nothing she said was against trans people in any way, shape, or form. Just because you demanded it and she told you no. Well, you know what? Get used to the word no.
Yeah, get used to paying for Twitter, too.
Good. Well, maybe they could pay for Twitter. A lot of these people will learn the word no because they won't have the money to buy it.
If you pay for Twitter, can you filter out the randos that comment, or can you just be like, I only want like verified people commenting?
Can you report these people for harassment? Targeted harassment?
I'm a paying customer of Twitter. Can I get some support here, please?
I mean, look, there are shitty people who do real things that really happen that are shitty. But in this case, the courts even, exonerated her and her family.
Yeah.
And Gina Carano, for all your accusations, and then the comment that supposedly got her fired was nothing. It wasn't that big a deal. It was historically accurate, and you can always show things like Pedro Pascal posts shit all the time, which now they're trying to cancel him, by the way, because he stood up for Gal Gadot.
How quickly it turns.
Exactly.
I mean, this is the thing. Like, they loved Pedro Pascal when he was making Nazi memes, and comparing Republicans to Nazis. They loved him. But yeah, you do one thing. They don't like, and they turn on you. Mm-hmm. Always.
It doesn't matter if he panders double hard now, because he did one thing that some people are mad about. They're going to consistently try to get him canceled now, because they have decided.
And the worst thing you can do is bend the knee to these people, because once they smell the blood in the water, they know they can.
It's never enough.
It's never enough. They know they can get to you, and they will continue to come for you. And the media, the studios, the publishers, they need to stop listening to Twitter, because a lot of this is just coordinated attacks. It could be 10 people, each of them with 100 alt accounts. Because a lot of this stuff sounds so similar.
And it's not because they legitimately feel it's for a greater good, or it's because, you're a toxic person, because they have no problem flipping on a dime and making toxic, racist, hate-filled comments to people, because they didn't agree with them. So if they were so much for, what's right, and for, advocacy, and for, activism, and for actual, trying to make change, they wouldn't go and use the terms they use.
No.
In regards to these people, in minorities, when they don't get their own way, then their ism shows.
Yep, absolutely. So we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yep, trash is trash.
Trash is trash. It's time to take out the trash. All right, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.